Thanks for joining us. First of all, tell me about yourself. I mean, I've done a little research on you. You grew up in Topeka, went to
Actually, I'm
Washburn.
here in Kansas
Right,
City.
right. But you grew up there, right?
Right.
You went to Washburn.
Yep.
All right. So
Yep.
tell me about your childhood growing up. What was Topeka like when you were growing up?
Yes, I'm a native born Topekan, and I grew up in central Topeka, which I actually grew up, there was very few Latinos where I grew up. It was predominantly white and black. And there was only a few Hispanic families, poor to middle class. And it actually, I enjoyed my childhood and gave me the best of really three worlds. I spent my weekends in Oakland, which is the Mexican neighborhood of Topeka, with my cousins, and then during the week lived in a different world. So I really think that diversity has helped me today with what I do.
So you're growing up in Topeka, and you go to Washburn. I saw you had a job with for a while, for quite a long time. How'd you get to Kansas City? What brought you here? I know Topeka and Kansas City very close together, lots of similarities, but what got you here?
Well, I was very fortunate that I worked for Best Buy for almost 18 years. And I was very fortunate that they encouraged their people to be in the community. And so I got involved in the local community in Topeka. And I always tell people, I didn't plan on becoming the president of a chamber, a minority chamber. The pathway just kind of opened up. I was very involved with a local fiesta in Topeka, Kansas, Fiesta Mexicana for Our Lady of Guadalupe school. And I was involved in that fiesta for 11 years. That involvement got the attention of a lot of people. And so before I knew it, a mayor was asking me to sit on the planning commission of Topeka. And I told Mayor Butch Felker, I said, Mayor Felker, I don't know anything about city planning, economic development. I'm sure you can find someone, more knowledgeable than me. And the mayor said, Carlos, you'll learn that stuff. That stuff you'll learn. Right now, I have a planning commission that's out of touch with community, and that's what you bring. That's what I need on my planning commission. So I became the voice for small business on that commission. And that got the attention of the Topeka Chamber, heading up a few committees for them. Next thing you know, I'm here in Kansas City. My three passions were business, my community, and politics. And the chamber world involves all three.
That's awesome. So how long have you been in Kansas City?
14 years.
14 years. So Kansas City is now home. What do you love about Kansas City?
First of all, the people. And Topekans are great too, but there's just much more diversity here. And what's available. Kansas City has every amenity of a tier 1 city, but yet we're small enough that you get to know people across the metro. And I really like that. Still has that home small town feel, even though we're 2 million metropolitan.
Right. So you shared earlier you're not a homeowner, you're renting right now. So you said that's your lifestyle. So explain a little bit of that. Why are you renting?
Well, pre-COVID, I was traveling a lot. I don't have any pets either. It wouldn't be fair to the pets. I'm a workaholic, and I'm always on the go. I'm always in meetings. Pre-COVID, I would have at minimum three events a week, if not up to 5 events a week every evening. So I'm really not at home very much. And I'm meeting people. I'm at banquets and consulting small business owners at my office. So I'm not at home at all. So for now, with what I'm doing, this renting makes it easier. At some point, I want to own my own home, and I will.
Right.
Right now is not the time.
Well, let us know. We've got 3,000 realtors in the area that can.
You'll be the first.
So growing up, did your family own their home in Topeka?
They did.
All right.
Yeah.
So go back to that experience. You talked a little bit about that you went into the Oakland neighborhood, the Mexican American neighborhood there in Topeka. What was it like for your family owning their own home? Growing
Yeah,
up?
now my dad was born in Oakland, but my parents bought their first home in Central Topeka, and so it's amazing how prices have changed quite a bit, and but Central Topeka was close to the library. It was the center of town, close to bus lines. There's a lot of things. Great, I grew up a block away from my grade school, so I know that was important to my parents. They wanted to make sure that there was a school nearby. Um, there wasn't as many parks in Central Topeka, but the school sort of fulfilled that with the school grounds.
So
So
your parents had some idea that they wanted to be in that area to change uh, or to give you and any of your siblings an opportunity to do something different, right? Or is that
yeah, and they were fine. They would have been fine with Oakland too, but they found the home they really liked that was close to the city library, really half a block from a grade school, two blocks from the junior high, and all the ingredients were there that this would be a great place to start their family.
yeah?
And then 2 blocks from a bus line, because back then a lot of people didn't drive.
Right. That and that's really the gist of what we're trying to get into. There are so many people in the Latino community. There's so many people in the African American community that are afraid of this transaction that don't know how to navigate through it, and that's where we can help. But also that you know we can change the trajectory of a family just by putting them in that situation where maybe it's a little better school or a little closer to the school so that you have that a better chance that you're going to get a better education. And that's where we've fallen back to, we're all about educating. If we can sell you a house, great, but if we can teach you how to do that and change the family dynamics within a certain amount of people, that's our goal.
Yeah, and things haven't changed from back then to today of what people look for. They look for, good transportation, low crime, great schools is probably the number one reason where people choose to live is what the school district.
Yes.
And so, from whether it's, that was, 50, 60, 50 years ago, nothing's really that, it's the same things that people are looking for, those amenities that create a lifestyle that is going to be good to bring up a family.
Right. So it's interesting that that we're in an economic phase now with housing where there's really low inventory and there's a lot of buyers out there and few sellers. And the National Association of Hispanic Realtors talks a lot about the Hispanic population is the only population that has grown home ownership over the last 5 years, which is incredible. What do you attribute that to? Why are Latinos looking to buy homes now more than ever before?
Well, for the Latino community, and I get so much information from so many different sources here at the Hispanic Chamber. 58% of Hispanics in the United States believe that owning a home means that I've arrived, I've made it in this country. That is the. You have to remember, for some of my community, they come from countries where their home ownership or land ownership is taken away from them.
Right.
And so what we take for granted, some countries throughout the world, you don't have that constitutional right of property rights. And so, but for Hispanics that are in America, the majority believe owning a home means I've made it. Versus non-Hispanics, it's 38%. So Hispanics, we want that yard. We want the house with the picket fence. That's the American dream. And I don't think that's going to change. That's going to continue. And if you look at the Hispanics, not only across the country, but just in particular in Kansas City, we're the fastest growing demographic. Yes. And we're a young demographic. So yeah. we have just begun to buy homes.
Right. So what strategies, as you look at our company and you know what we do, we facilitate one of the most important transactions in anyone's life, their purchase of their home. What kind of strategies do you think we should be looking at to even help that Latino community even more to grow their home ownership?
The first part is education. Um, you guys are doing a great job at getting in the community, but the community is large, and we have to get into the community and educate on, what are the steps of purchasing a home? How do I get my credit score? How do I increase my credit score? You know, the growth of the Hispanic community in Kansas City has been immigrant, and so there's a learning curve of how things work here in Kansas City and here in the United States. So teaching how that game is played so people can win. But the main thing is there's a lot of people who don't even realize they can own a home. They don't, that's not even, and so we got to let people know that you can be a homeowner, and there are people willing to sit down with you, not only companies like yourself, but bankers. Most of the banks will sit down with anybody and say, hey, let us sit down and we'll show you. So, maybe you're not ready to buy a home today, but we'll show you how to prepare. So in a year from now, 2 years from now, you are ready.
Sure.
And so the big piece is outreach with education.
Okay. Is there something we could do together? We could team up and partner together to facilitate that?
Definitely. We could definitely do that. And, we have the chamber, we have extensive outreach, ways to outreach to the community, and particularly through our social media. So Hispanics, we are the highest demographic percent-wise in the United States on Facebook and Twitter. And not to mention, there's the Spanish TV, the Spanish radio, Spanish newspapers. We rely on our Spanish media and on social media to gather information, and we would definitely love to partner, because at the end of the day, this is bigger than the Hispanic community. This is when you help people gain capital wealth, it helps Kansas City.
Yes.
And we want people to reach that dream.
Right.
And so we both have the same goal.
Well, and I'm a lifelong Kansas Cityan. I grew up in Brookside. I just continue to move south. I want the best for our community, and I want to help those people build wealth so they stay here forever. I mean, I love a more diverse community. It attracts even more diversity. So we've got to continue down that path. So what do you enjoy most about being the president of the Hispanic Chamber?
What I really enjoy is having, like today, I've had at least 4 different people that have made appointments with us, or some just stop by, and they're either starting a business or their business, they're trying to reach that next level. They may be even having a problem with their business. And for us here at the chamber, my staff and I, to be allowed to be a part of someone's dream is priceless. And if we can help them reach the next level, help them grow their business, expand into other markets, get a contract, that is really rewarding to help people. What people tend to forget, 2 things: businesses are made up of people, number 1, and small business employs more people than corporate America. And what we do here every day is help people reach their American dream of owning a business and growing their business, just like you guys do every day with purchasing homes. And I know that's rewarding to your staff when you hand those keys to someone and that's their first home.
Yep.
We get that same feeling when we help someone open up that business.
So what's your number 1 challenge? What keeps you up at night?
Oh my gosh. I'm an optimist. I always have been, but I'm concerned this year, the next 6 months are going to be crucial for small business. And I would encourage anyone who's watching this, support local small business. And if you don't want to get out, order delivery, buy a gift certificate and give it as a gift. We got Valentine's Day coming around the corner. What small businesses can you support because a lot of small businesses, and particularly restaurants, are going to need that support. And those business owners are employing great people around the metro, and we want to keep people employed.
Right.
So what keeps me up at night is how can we help these businesses, and particularly the ones in the hospitality? How can we help them in the next 6 months?
Right. I agree. All right. So 20 years from now, when you step down as president of the Hispanic Chamber, what do you want to be known for? What are three adjectives that when they're given the new president stepping in and they're gonna describe Carlos Gomez, what are they gonna say about you? What are the three adjectives?
Well, anyone who knows me knows I'm not about me. And I have a great team around me, a great working board. We actually are two organizations. So we have two great working boards, a great staff, and passionate members. So this is not me. But together, I want them to know that during this time, the Hispanic Chamber, and as was our legacy per se, is that we were very strategic. We are sincere about helping the community, and that we're about business, and we're proud to be about business.
That's great. That's really good. Well, that's all my questions. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. So what is your company's plans this year? You I mean, you hit it on the head. The market there's a shortage of inventory, which has been good for our construction companies in the residential. I mean, there's not enough builders in residential. So if anyone wants to enter that arena, come see us. But what is your plan? Because the marketplace is really, the inventory is very slim.
Right. So we're challenging all our agents to get in touch with their circle of influence and talk to the people about the low interest rates right now. And if people have any sense that they are thinking about moving up or moving down, there's a lot of people that could go into a smaller home. Maybe their kids have grown up and are out of college, or they're at the time in their life where they need a smaller footprint in their home. So we're trying to have all our people reach out to those people and say your house is worth more than it's ever been worth, and now's the time to sell, because it'll bring a lot of value to you, and give someone else an opportunity to purchase in that price range, especially under that 400,000. We're working with our builders and developers to find affordable property so that they can build housing in the under $300,000 range. That really is where we need it the most. Labor and lumber continues to accelerate, and that's a big challenge. Fabian and I have talked to some people about doing some infill projects within the Kansas City community to see if we can't, if the city can help us with the land, and we can get some builder developers to, give us some preferential pricing on some of the build jobs they're going to do. Maybe we can do some of that. So we're trying to go from many different facets to find different ways to find the product that people want to purchase. And we really don't buy or sell anything. We're facilitating a transaction, and we're just trying to give people the most information possible, either why they need to buy or why they need to sell, or from the people of color perspective, how this transaction works and why it's so important, and how we can help you. And we hit it on the head. You talked about it earlier, building wealth, providing a place that you can raise your families, and in a safe environment, in an environment where you can be close to education, you can be close to shopping, you can be close to transportation. All that stuff is important. So and we're kind of multifaceted in everything we're doing, but it's a challenging time. The good news is there's a lot of people that want to buy houses, and so
Yes,
we're trying to solve for a lot of different equations, and keep everybody happy.
Any of the members I've talked to that have put their house on the market, or friends, it sold immediately and over market value.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's a little bit of a dichotomy in that we get in this COVID situation, and a lot of businesses, as you just discussed, the retail businesses, the restaurant tours are really struggling because people haven't been out. But it's made people take a look at their housing and said, we've got people that, now they're going to work from home, so they need 2 offices and not 1. And now they're maybe not going to travel as much, so they want more outdoor entertainment space. And so, we've got now the high end of the market, the market 750,000 over 1 million. It's really starting to move, which is creating opportunities for people down below. But you're exactly right. The people in all price points putting their house on the market, getting lots of activity, and we're seeing lots of sales. Last year was a record year at ReeceNichols. We sold more houses than we've ever had in our history, our 100-year history in Kansas City, and we think 2021 is going to be just as good.
That's awesome. Well, we at the Hispanic Chamber applaud ReeceNichols and what you're doing for the Latino community. I see you out in the community. I see you in the different neighborhoods, the festivals before COVID. There's been no festivals because of COVID, the fiestas, but I see ReeceNichols there and know that we see it, and it's very much appreciated of what you guys are doing and what Fabian is doing, because the community, we like to put a face on companies, and we like to know who we're doing business with, and you guys have been there, so thank you.
Well, we appreciate everything that you're doing too. We'll work. I'll get Fabian working with you to see if we can't do something together, and at least do some home buying seminars, or helping people with this important transaction. And hopefully, when COVID relaxes a little bit, we can get back to doing those festivals and being in the community, and showing people how much we appreciate what they're doing for Kansas City. And as a Kansas Citian, I want to see that grow, more and more of that stuff.
We're right with you, and go Chiefs.
That's right, go Chiefs.